Today, we are diving deep into what I like to call the engine room of every single successful organization, human resource management. It's the vital system, the very heart that manages a company's most important asset, its people. So, let's get right into it.
So, here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the absolute basics, what HRM even is. Then we'll explore its core characteristics, really get into its personality. After that, we'll see why it's so valuable to a business, how it impacts people like you and me, and finally, we'll zoom out and look at its effect on society as a whole.
All right, let's start at square one. Before we can really get a handle on the power of human resource management, we need to have a super solid understanding of what it actually is. This core definition, well, it's our foundation for everything else.
You know, we hear the term HR, or just HR, thrown around all the time, right? But what does it really mean? Is it just about hiring and firing? Not even close. Let's peel back the layers and look at a classic, really comprehensive definition that shows you just how big its scope truly is.
Okay, this definition from Edwin B. Flippo might sound a little academic, but it is packed with meaning. It shows us that HRM is a complete system. It's not just one thing. It's a whole chain of interconnected functions that cover the entire life of an employee. Let's break it down. Procurement. That's just a fancy word for finding and hiring the right people. Development is all about training them and helping them grow. Compensation is making sure pay and benefits are fair. Integration is about making people feel like they belong, like they're part of the team. Maintenance is creating a great environment so that awesome talent sticks around. And yeah, reproduction is an old-time term, but it just means ensuring the workforce can keep going through things like planning for who will take over key roles in the future. And the big goal of all this? To hit the targets not just for the company, but for the employees themselves and even for society. It's huge.
So if that definition was a mouthful, here's the absolute best way to think about it. If a company is a computer, then HRM is its operating system. Seriously. It's the essential software running in the background, managing all the different parts, the people, and making sure they have what they need, that they can talk to each other, and that they're all working together to help the company run smoothly and achieve its goals.
Okay, so now that we know what HRM is, let's get into its personality. What are the key traits, the characteristics that really define how it works? Think of this section as exploring the fundamental architecture of managing people.
First and foremost, at its absolute core, HRM is all about people. It's people-oriented, meaning it looks at the entire workforce as a whole, as a collective. But at the same time, it's also individual-oriented, because it gets that every single person is unique, with their own goals and needs. And finally, it's development-oriented, which means it's always trying to unlock the potential inside every employee, helping them grow so they can bring their A game to the organization.
And this focus on people isn't just for, one department or one type of employee. HRM is totally comprehensive. Its rules of the road, things like fair performance reviews, clear ways to communicate, chances to learn and grow, they apply to every single person, from the brand new intern all the way up to the CEO. The whole idea is to lift everybody up, which in turn boosts their ability to help the company win.
HRM is also what we call pervasive, and that just means you find it everywhere. I mean, any group of people working together needs it. A tech company, the government, the military, even your favorite sports team. And listen, here's the key takeaway from this. HR isn't just the job of the HR department. Nope. Every single manager, whether they lead a sales team or a group of accountants, is an HR manager because they are all responsible for managing people. It's a part of every leader's job.
Now, this next point is a really important distinction. HRM is known as a staff function, which basically means it's advisory. The movie director analogy here is perfect. Think about it. A director doesn't act in the movie or run the camera, right? They advise and guide the actors and the crew, who are the line functions, to create an amazing film. An HR manager does the exact same thing. They advise the sales managers or production supervisors on how to best manage their teams to get incredible results.
The day-to-day work in HR is also super dynamic. For one, it's action-oriented. It's about solving real-world problems like figuring out why good people are leaving or how to make a team work better together, not just pushing paper. It's also continuous. You don't just do culture once and check it off the list. It's a never-ending process. And let me tell you, it is deeply challenging. And why is that? Because you're dealing with people. People have feelings, hopes, and complicated lives. You can't manage them like you manage inventory. It takes real skill, empathy, and tact.
Great HRM is also incredibly strategic. It's future-oriented. It's not just about putting out today's fires. It's about looking down the road and asking the tough questions.
What kind of people with what kind of skills are we going to need to win a year from now, 5 years from now? It's all about making sure the company is always ready with a team of talented, motivated people.
So, here's a fun question. Is HRM an art or a science? Well, the truth is, it's a beautiful mix of both. It's a science because it's built on data, on analytics, on proven principles for things like how to structure pay scales. But it's also absolutely an art. You can't use a formula to mediate a conflict between two-star performers, or get that gut feeling that a candidate is the perfect cultural fit. That takes creativity, intuition, and a human touch you'll never find in a spreadsheet.
And here's something you might not realize. When you compare it to fields like finance or manufacturing that have been around forever, HRM is actually a pretty young discipline. It really only started taking shape in the late 1800s. And knowing that helps you understand why the field is still changing so fast, always adapting and pulling in new ideas and new tech.
And the final trait is that HRM is interdisciplinary. It doesn't live on an island. It borrows some of the most powerful ideas from a ton of other fields. It uses psychology to understand what motivates people, sociology to understand how teams work, and economics to figure out compensation. It's this rich blend that makes it so darn effective at solving people problems at work.
Okay, so we've defined HRM, we've explored its personality, but that all leads to the big question. So what? Why should a business actually care about any of this? Let's talk about the real, tangible value that HRM brings to the table and how it drives success from the inside out.
At the company level, great HRM creates this amazing self-reinforcing loop of success. It all starts with attracting and keeping top talent. Then, you develop their skills and their mindset with great training. That, in turn, creates a motivated, cooperative team. And finally, the organization can fully use all these skilled, engaged people to crush its goals. And what happens next? Well, that success makes the company an even hotter place to work, which pulls in even better talent. You see? It's a powerful engine for non-stop growth.
But hey, it's not just about the company's profits. Not at all. Great HRM has a huge positive impact on every single employee. So let's shift our focus now from the business to the individual.
For you, as an employee, good HRM just makes your work life better, period. It means you see clear paths for your own development and career growth. It helps build healthy, respectful relationships with your coworkers. It makes sure work is handed out fairly, and it creates an environment where you feel like you're part of a real team, not just a collection of people.
All right, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. The influence of human resource management doesn't just stop at the office doors. It sends massive ripples out into society and can even affect the wealth of an entire nation. On a social level, solid HRM brings dignity back to work. It helps create jobs that aren't just about a paycheck, but are also fulfilling and make people feel valued. By expertly matching the right people to the right jobs, it stops human talent from going to waste and helps create a much healthier, more balanced job market for all of us.
And this has huge national significance. A country's most precious resource isn't its oil, its diamonds, or its gold. It's its people. As you can see here, it's pretty clear. Nations that are good at managing their human resources, through smart business practices and good policies, see faster economic growth and a higher standard of living for their citizens. Countries that are underdeveloped are often that way because their people's potential is underdeveloped. So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. From the personal growth of one single employee to the success of a company, all the way to the prosperity of an entire nation, human resource management is the fundamental framework for unlocking our amazing collective human potential.